How's it going, YouTube? It's Lucas here from TPA205 channel, and today I have a video on this. What is this, you may ask? Well, it's currently a 1969 Ford Torino, Talladega specifically. But underneath, you might kind of know what it is, because I only have one on-road car, and it's the Vortec 1.0, the four-wheel drive electric on-road car that Traxxas made. That actually has all of the original electronics into it, except all the servos and stuff that it didn't come with, in here, and the body is somewhere else. I painted up this, and I'm just going to get into it. So, this body is painted similar to my great-grandpa's old 1969 Ford Torino stock car, in that it's blue, and there's number 5 on the top, sides, whatever. It was a very, admittedly basic, just completely flat Ford blue with a 5 on the side of it, and of course his name and the actual driver of that time. But I decided to change it up by making different, darker kind of blue color, and also, because I could, had a purple stripe of Tamiya paint going through the top and the sides, just to make it a little bit more different, but it's still reminiscent of the original paint scheme. Now for one race, it was actually yellow base car with a red 5. I didn't really care, I didn't really want to do that, because I didn't have any yellow or red, very much of it anyway. But I also added the spoiler. And now, my great-grandpa had originally a regular Ford Torino. This is the Talladega version, which is a completely flat front, well, mostly anyway, and some different performance stuff that's meant for going around the Talladega track. And it did, actually, or it was going to, but I'll not get into that story. So, if you'll notice that I don't have the side windows cut out or clear, I was going to cut those out for scale so I could add an interior, or at least partial interior in here, but that'll be coming later. So here it is. This is the Vortec 1.0. Now, as you can see, there's a few things that are changed around from what it should be stock, or yeah, I guess what you consider it to be stock, in that the tires are not original. These ones are some brands I don't know entirely. The main gimmick is that the rim, you can pop it out and then move it to a different spot and then click it back into a different, wheel width. And that's helped it definitely to line up with this body, because this is meant to go for, this size body is meant to go on, RJ Speed stuff, and well, I guess meant to go on that sort of stuff, but this isn't that scale. So I just have those wider tires, or wider rims. Tires, I believe, are AFNA ones or Yokomo ones, probably AFNA ones. I don't have the original packaging or anything, so I'm just going off these. I haven't actually ran these. I'm actually waiting for Loctite to dry so all the wheel nuts don't come flying off. So yeah, that's kind of the tires and rims. Other than that, this is a fairly stock vehicle, except for the fact of the rear shock and stuff that I don't have exactly perfect as it should. Like for instance, the original, I am sure, is supposed to have leads coming off of the MSC. This is a mechanical speed control, by the way. The kits originally included these. No servos, but the 20-turn Stinger motor, so that's included. But there is supposed to be leads coming off of here, going into the receiver, which is any one of many that you could have gotten. I currently have an RJ Speed, JR Racing? Yeah, JR Racing receiver in there, but I'm going to use a different remote because I don't have... The remote doesn't work anymore for some reason, so different receiver, which is fine. It wouldn't have come with one anyway. Now, I have a battery pack hooked up on top of the servo, which is the throttle servo. That's really about the only place that I could have thought to put this particular battery. I'm sure there's other ones that would have made much better mounting holes or some place to put them, but this is just the best place that I had. That's double-sided taped on there, probably not necessarily very securely, but it's on there. Coming up to, well, the servos. This is a stock Traxxas, as I believe, 2055 servo, which is metal geared as far as I know, or at least the output is. The throttle servo is a JR Racing unit. Probably came with the remote. I don't have the original box or anything, so that might have been what they all came with, because given back then, if you got a new remote, you most likely got some other servos and receivers and stuff. So, yeah, interesting times back then. Also, I guess I didn't really mention the fact that this thing came out in 1993, so if that helps anything, this is a really old belt-driven four-wheel drive system, which actually I'll talk about that. This is belt-driven, particularly the rear one is loose because I have the tensioner things back here that are the outputs for it kind of not in the right place, so I'm going to have to fix that, but it's so far worked pretty well. This is a new front-facing belt, which doesn't really impact performance. It does have ball differentials in the front and rear. I'm eventually going to switch them out to gear differentials, because I honestly don't really care for tuning ball differentials, especially when this one, I've already stripped out the screw in one of them, so it wouldn't, do anything. And you will have to constantly Loctite and glue and tighten and adjust these things, so yeah, I don't really bother with it. At the back is the resistor for the MSC that goes to somewhere. I'm not entirely sure how this works or anything. I'm going to assume that this is through the resistor, and then through some other stuff, because it's not fully proportional. It's analog, or it's not, would that be the word? Analog, I believe. In that it has multiple stages. You can definitely feel the multiple stages too with the stock brush motor. Now, as some people have recalled, I did originally have a Speed Gems motor in here, and it worked really well until it completely burnt up and I never was able to use it again. That motor was as fast as a Castle brushless system currently, so it sucks that I'm down a motor, but I kind of wanted to keep this thing original. That was difficult too when you have to have electronics in it, which it wouldn't have come with anyway. Also, wiring, I could definitely clean that up and make it look a lot better, and I will eventually, so whatever. Using a standard Tamiya plug, as you can tell. The battery tray is actually really interesting, and that you're supposed to have this thing that you're supposed to pull out, push this in, and pop out the battery. It's rather annoying to try to do that with any 6-cell battery that doesn't have the lead sticking straight up, because if you have anything different, it won't work, and it's just generally is not really that nice. There's one of those on both sides. One of them actually has the tab thing still intact, but I won't put my batteries in from there because dealing with that is annoying. There's plenty of adjustability on this vehicle too. The camber and caster is adjustable back here. Also up here, steering angle is slightly adjustable. There's supposed to be little clips that are similar to what's on the T-Max and Revo and stuff. Clips that are supposed to go right here. Many mounting holes. And even some stuff down here. But the problem that I have had most oftentimes with this vehicle is that the shocks you can only mount them in one spot. They are fluid-filled shocks, so that is nice. I currently have 30 weight, I believe, in here. I really need to have something stiffer, I know, but I rarely run this thing, and even when I do run it, it's not on, like, actual good roads. So, I think I might reserve this for some carpet racing and very little on-road use. And it's not like a collector's piece or anything, I just want to keep it original. I did get this thing for free after all. So, yeah, rear shocks, there's supposed to be a little extender thing out here, or a little spacer for the rear shocks. I've actually found 2 of those, so I'll put that back on there. Adjustable body posts back here, and there's supposed to be 4 of these things. You loosen those and then move them up or down. I have it as high as possible so I can have the body on there. The front ones are technically adjustable. They're really long ones. They're what's with most vehicles with the really tall front body posts. I haven't actually cut those off because I have so many different bodies on there that it doesn't even matter. And I don't really mind the fact of having the giant things up there. But yeah, I think that's about it, actually. Other than me eventually cleaning up the wiring and, you know, improving it every once in a while. I have Loctited and rebuilt this entire thing, even though some stuff I still have to Loctite. I wouldn't say entire thing. Yeah. But otherwise, that's not all that much to do with this, other than preserve it for the time that I would have to use it, which is, I don't know when. I do have the original tires, and the body is currently not here. I do have it, and it's kind of a 2-door sedan, I believe. Yeah, sedan. It looks pretty cool. If you've seen the previous videos, you know what it looks like, or just, Google search it. Make sure to specify electric Vortec, not nitro Vortec, because there is a nitro Vortec that I really, really want. But yeah, if anyone has a nitro Vortec they want to get rid of, I want one really badly. Especially 3.3, or 2.5, or whatever they actually came in. Because that would be really cool. Anyway. Yeah, the original tires are slicks, and they are, have 3... Well, I can just show you, I suppose. The original tires are a 3-prong. They look really nice, actually, and they're slicks. But the one main thing, a disappointing thing, is that the chrome, like the bright, really noticeable chrome on these, has faded off, and I painted them over with crappy gray spray paint. And they don't look very nice anymore. I mean, they don't with the bare plastic, but I really want to get these chrome plated or something again, so they're really, really nice looking again. I'll have to eventually also find another body, so I have it mostly stock, and also, so it's just basically a shelf queen until I actually decide to run it. But other than that, kind of my plans, other than what I've said about 3 times now, is taking this body and, well, putting a better spoiler back on here. Is actually take it on, I believe, the right side and putting a giant plexiglass sheet, well, I guess Lexan sheet, on the side of it, because as many people have figured out back in those days, giant air dams of plexiglass is really aerodynamic and helps in cornering, mostly on modifieds and that sort of stuff. But they weren't quite as extreme as they were beforehand. Before, 1970s-ish. Also, another thing is try to find an RJ Speed, bow length type of thing, a modified body, and eventually just get one of those and put this body on there, so it's actually what it's on supposed to be. So yeah, and also, if I do get the modified, put some sprint car wings on there, as they tried to do for a little bit, and basically trying to be really strange with some of this stuff. So yeah, that is the overview for this. I forgot to mention the on-off switch. That's about it. But yeah, this is my Traxxas 4Tech 1.0. Google search it, do whatever you want to try to figure out more of this stuff. I'm sure a few people have had them. They're supposed to be racing models, but if you look back past the 90s, they were even starting to use carbon fiber and aluminum stuff. So this isn't necessarily that performance. It's just an interesting thing that Traxxas had made, along with the Monster Buggy and stuff. Which the Monster Buggy was either from this era or from '83. I don't really remember. I mean, I could look it up, but even Traxxas wants to forget about that thing, which I don't know why, because everyone liked it. So yeah, that's all I have about this for a 16-minute video that I could have cut down. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Lucas out. Bye, YouTube.